Hey guys, welcome to the Throwback IT Show, TV's latest show where we take you on a stroll down memory lane back to the tech that we grew up with. This week, we're looking at data storage. So back before we had newfangled things like USB flash disks, which right now are like our mainstay sort of thing, we had these bad boys, 5.25-inch floppy disks. These floppy disks ranged from about 300 kilobytes to about 700-800 kilobytes, depending on how they're formatted. The formatting was a bit strange, you know. It had the dual side, dual density, single density, quad density, and that really affected it. I think there were some that can hold even 1 megabyte, but these were very weird. So you know, you slot them in. These were like called the B drive. You slot them into what they call the B drive, and then you had this little lever which you lock down so that it prevents you from pulling it out midway through a file operation. And you know, the magnetic tape was exposed here, and it was really weird. And the worst part is, like, if you bend it, if it accidentally gets a little bit bent, it's screwed. You know, if you get a scratch there, it's screwed. So these were very, very temperamental. Also, you know, storage, it requires a lot of storage space, and don't forget, you know, to install, say, Windows 3.1 or Windows for workgroups, it really took a lot of these. So along to a more familiar piece of data storage technology, it's the 3.5-inch floppy disk. This floppy disk was one of the most commonly used things in students' life, office, you know. Everyone used this. Everyone has a memory of this. If you're watching this, you will definitely have some memory of a 3.5-inch floppy disk. If you don't, I guess you're a little bit too young. The 3.5-inch floppy disk has a capacity of a whopping 1.44 megabytes. At that time, it was quite a lot. I mean, you did still have to have multiple disks for like installation of like games or like Windows or like software, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it was plenty for what we did. After all, you know what? We didn't really need much space because you know what? We were downloading with this. If you were a student at Lim Kok Wing in the early 2000s, chances are you would not be using the 3.5-inch floppy. You would be using something from Iomega called the Zip Disk and the Zip Drive. This drive is pretty special because the disk lets you store up to 100 megabytes. That's like up to nearly 80 floppy disks. The big problem though was it was not cheap. It was like 50 bucks for a disk, and at that time 50 bucks is like so much money, and that's why all design students were poor. Well, all students were poor. Honestly, the zip drive and zip disk never really caught on because of the low adoption and the high prices. It wasn't really feasible. So after the floppy, the next most common consumer way of transporting data were these. You remember CDs? Yes, CDRs with a CD writer. Back then, I had a 4-speed writer, and we used the slow CDs, and it took me bloody ages to burn a disc full of MP3s. You know, at that time it was like, you know, here's some, like, this is our version of the mixtape, or like backup data. So it took forever, and back in the day, remember Nero? Yep, Nero, and we couldn't do anything while it was writing, otherwise it had a chance of corrupting the data, right? People told you that. CDRs started at 650 megabytes, and then as time grew on, they somehow found another 50 megabytes somewhere in here to squeeze into about 7. Now this is like 70/40 speed and like 80 minutes of music on this. I guess it came a distance from its early beginnings. The bad part though is that this was so cheap. You know, you went down to Imbi Plaza, you got a huge spindle just to burn all your stuff, but it's a terrible backup solution because you end up having CDs around the house like written in marker like stuff 1, random programs, or like MP3s A to Z, and then you realize, oh, I added another MP3, so there's no other way to append it. Or was there? Because there were CDRWs. CDRWs let you rewrite your data after it's already been written. But the pain in the butt was they were insanely slow. So it would take like an hour. It would take like an hour and a half to write out an entire disk. So that didn't really pick up. But until today, people are still using CDs. Let's put things into perspective. This is a SanDisk Extreme Pro 16GB CF card that I use for photography. The SanDisk Extreme Pro CF card has 16 GB of storage space and transfers at 90 megabytes a second. If we were to see how many floppy disks worth of data could fit in this CF card, it would amount to 11,378. If you put all 11,378 floppy disks end to end, you'll get a structure as tall as the Twin Towers. Scratch that, it's twice as tall. And on top of that, the SanDisk 16GB Extreme Pro card can read 60 floppy disks worth of data in just 1 second. Look how far we've come. So that's it for data storage. If you have any memories of the 5¼ inch floppy, the 3½ inch, the zip disk, the CDRs, the CDRWs, even like DVDs, but I guess DVDs are really modern, please leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. My memory about the 3½ was, you know what, I had this box of floppies. I remember it was verbatim, I think, and it was all different colors, so I had like different stuff with different colors, and you would use it to like transfer your Diablo 2 character to the disc, to the cyber cafe, to allow you to plug it in, and then you know what, you play LAN with your friends, open Battle.net, right? So that was pretty fun. I mean, that was my memory. Do drop us a like. Let us know what you want to see next. We've got loads of cool stuff coming up, loads of like nostalgic stuff coming up for you on the Throwback IT Show. Last but not least, please do subscribe to our channel so you can get the latest and greatest. Also, you can watch all the episodes of the Throwback IT Show and a lot more. It means a lot to us. It lets us continue making awesome videos for you guys. Please, please, please do subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys. See you later. I'm out.